Welcome, everyone, to Plastic Cards Podcast, a show where we break down the video game news of the week. My name is Fonzie. I'm joined by my co-host, indie game dev extraordinaire, lovable man, Gavin Jones. Gavin, how are you?
Lovable gland.
Lovable gland and lovable man. How about that? How are you
The
doing?
most lovable of glands.
You got a couple lovable glands on you.
Oh God.
How you doing?
I am. Jesus Christ. I'm good.
Mhm.
Good. We're 2020ing it up right now.
Yeah,
And,
it's endless 2020, but one day it will end.
This last week alone has been took like a month to get through.
Yeah, it's crazy where we had all this time with quarantine, but at the same time, it seems like it flew by. Just like the entire summer just went by in an instant. And that is my drink that you have right there.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I thought you put yours on the floor.
No, well, I did,
okay.
and then you had yours there. So
Did
I
the
put mine there.
switcheroo. I see. Okay.
Yes, one of these has poison in it. He has a speed. I can't remember.
But,
You fool! How about you?
I've been all right. I just we were talking right before. I made the jump and forced you to commit to not a suicide jump, I was thinking of the wrong word, a tandem skydive. So we're gonna do that in maybe 2.5 weeks. It's very soon.
Mhm.
I was hoping to do it like further, but they cut off their times at the end of October, so there's like nothing else to book, and it also gets super cold at that point.
Yeah.
But I have to like double down and because there is a weight requirement. You have to be 230 and under, and I feel like you're definitely under 230. But I'm sure I'm like 240, so I need to crack down.
Really?
And, yeah, I'm sure I'm around there. Although I started that keto diet,
Right.
and it's been like 2 weeks, and it's going good. No bread, no sugar, no dairy. And my peas are 100% clear. Let me tell you, like I'm just peeing. I'm just drinking water and coffee, really. But it's just like I could drink that. It's like Waterworld situation where it's just
Right.
straight, just clear pee, the clearest pee you'll ever see.
I'm just thinking of Always Sunny, where it's just like I've been shitting nonstop, and it's like, how have you been? No, I haven't shit in a week. You're just too efficient, right? You're absorbing all of it, and I don't know why I'm doing Charlie Day for.
We just
Max
started watching
character.
that recently too. Like after the
Oh, did you?
boys started watching that. But yeah, so we commit. How do you feel about jumping? You scared?
It makes me nervous, right? Because there was there literally you could be thousands of jumps in, and people are, and just have it go wrong.
Yeah, there's always that chance. At the same time, I guess if you're looking at the data, you're way more likely to get killed in a car accident. Like we drive all day, every day, and it's super dangerous, but nobody dies.
But
you're
that's
right, there's
sort of
always
that's sort of a quantity versus quality thing.
Sure, but you are diving or jumping with people that they do it. That's their career. They do it nonstop. They have like thousands of jumps under their belt, so it should be fine. I've done it twice now, and it's been awesome the whole time. And they do all the work. You're just strapped to a guy. I do want to request that we're both.
I do like it when the guy I'm strapped to does all the work.
Yes, 100%. And I want to be strapped face forward with each other, so we can just make it as awkward as possible.
Jesus.
I don't know how to work if both our shoots shoot out opposite ways, but
Terribly. I think that's how that would go.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh,
I'm stoked. I'm glad
what you been
committed.
playing, bud?
I've been playing Star Wars Squadrons. I think I've been messing. I was telling you, I've been messing more with the settings and playing the game. But now that I've got the settings tailored because of the whole VR thing and me using my Oculus, it works now. Playing in an Oculus, and it does make me sick for the first couple hours. But now I figured out how to get around it. So you're in the cockpit, you're flying around, and if you want to do a crazy maneuver, it helps you if you like look into whatever direction you're going.
That makes sense though, because I feel like that's what you do in real life.
True. Yeah. And that's what I was thinking. Like if I was in this thing, okay, because I'm just kind of locked into my whatever, looking down the hallway, it's like actually want to look into the turn.
Right.
And that's what helps out 100%. So now that I've kind of figured that out, the game doesn't really tell you, but once you figure that out, it's like, okay. But it's actually really dope. It's perfect. Like they nail the ambiance of Star Wars. You have your cockpit where there's a bunch of different doodads and stuff. It works with your controller, so it doesn't work with the wand. So you have to use a controller, and that's how you're navigating stuff. But it does have support for the like flight sticks you can buy,
Yeah.
which seems really cool too.
Be very curious. How do you feel about the whole, like, there's the 3 bars system where you have your
Right.
shield. I don't actually know what they are. I assume it's shields, engines, and weapons.
You're right. It's yeah, your ability to like sprint or how fast you can go versus your shield versus your weapons, and you do have to manage those. So it makes you feel super dope because you'll be in a fight, and then to get out of situation you have to click to the left, to use your full like speed ability, and then you can switch to shields and vice versa. So it makes you feel like you're doing something actively, and there's a little bit of like skill involved with how quickly you're able to maneuver that. But it's super dope. I'm playing the campaign on super easy just to help me with the fact that it's already nauseous, and it gets pretty hard like on the base level. So you have to really understand what you're doing. And in VR, it's like I don't want to keep replaying this stuff. I want to just have it kind of function normally. So yeah, I'm putting on baby mode, playing it, and it's a blast. Nice. It's really cool. I'm very glad that I got this, and it was $40 too. I was assuming like a $60 full retail, but $40.
I'm very impressed by, from what I've seen, the production value of like the music and the sound effects and the graphics. I can't speak to the gameplay, but that's all very impressive. How do you feel about the story?
The story is cool enough. I think so Darth Vader exists in this timeline. So you're whatever point in the movies where that's a thing. And you can pick which side you want to align with, but the story just kind of puts you in each scenario. So you play as the Empire, you play as the Resistance. So even though you have that initial start point, it seems like you just play each side. Nice. But the story's I'm kind of barely in the first like 2 or 3 hours. Story's cool. The characters are all really highly detailed. So you're in the like the station where they're kind of developing their plan. At least with the Resistance side, they're talking about what they're gonna do. You're all crowding around that one like AR table that shows the different like maps of where they're gonna go. So they are kind of they just fully flesh out all the story, all the characters, and yeah, it's really neat.
Out of curiosity, so can you, like, when it's running, can you have it like on your TV? So like somebody can watch.
Yeah, it does. And I think a lot of VR games will just kind of natively do that unless you tell it not to. Apparently it's not taxing on the computer itself. It's just like replicating your same screen.
Yeah.
So the actual computer still processing everything, but yeah, so it just plays exactly what you're seeing on the screen. And so like Megan will sit down with me and we'll watch it. She'll watch me play it. And yeah, like the visuals, the whole like sky boxes or space boxes, I guess in this case, are nuts. They're a little bit downgraded for Oculus, but they look insane still. And just to have like you're in a dogfight and you blast apart a ship right before you actually fly through it, and it just flies, the debris flies past you, the fire and the sound effects. Yeah, I'm glad that we're in a time where this exists, and it's actually like not an arcade system you have to go play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, super dope.
So now in this world of isolation, how long before you play? What is it, like that VR chat or whatever it is?
Yeah, I've kind of stayed away from those things. They just seem a bit weird to me. Yeah. But you definitely can do that stuff. It's just not for me. Like one of the free VR games that Oculus has, and it's actually a super dope game. It's called Echo VR, and it's like your Tron mixed with Iron Man. You're throwing discs, like almost like soccer, into this thing, but you can fly up against people, smash them, and move in fully 3D space. But they have this like docking world where you can talk to people, and it's all kids, and it's just like very strange. So I just turn my mic off, and I'm just gonna go straight to the actual game mode to play it. But yeah, you can. I just don't see the point, and I don't want to talk to people anyways. I also don't want to talk to people in VR. But yeah, that exists out there. There are a bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah, it'd definitely be hard to like, I don't know, not feel creepy when you're just surrounded by.
Yeah, a little bit.
What can you do? Yeah.
But mainly, yeah, I've been playing that. What you been playing?
Awesome. Played a bit more Terraforming Mars. The biggest one for me has been Spelunky 2.
So you actually got that. Nice. What do you think of Spelunky 2 so far?
So I'm not having fun yet.
Damn, okay.
I want to so badly. Like Spelunky 1 is probably one of my most played games of all time. I think it's second because I think Nuclear Throne I have 500 hours. I think Spelunky I probably have 300. And I just played Spelunky 1 religiously, and while I wasn't great, I feel like I was pretty decent. And this, it's like it feels like you kind of had to take it slower. The rules have been changed quite a bit. So I'm really pretty bad at.
So you kind of have to get used to the new stuff they've introduced.
Yeah, they kind of, I don't know, they made it harder in like a weird way.
Hmm.
And it's hard to tell from this footage because it looks so adorable.
Right.
But
But it's
yeah, like
still incredibly
that
hard.
would totally catch me because those stupid horny toads come at you from a weird angle and they'll bounce. I get that sort of things. Like enemies used to be way dumber and they couldn't react as well.
Hmm.
And the fact that these things can kind of jump gaps and come at you from these weird angles, or there'll be these moles that'll pop at you from weird angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Is it the kind of frustration that like you like where it's going, you just have to kind of master the new rules, or do you overall are not liking the changes, or can you feel yourself like, okay, I just have to get used to these new additions to the game?
it's a little too early to say.
Mm.
I hope that I can get used to it and enjoy this just as much as I did Spelunky 1. But we'll fuck these fucking moles.
Because that was your jam, Spelunky 1. So I feel like
Yeah.
it seems like they haven't thrown the formula completely out of whack, but they've changed enough where it's kind of rubbing you the wrong way.
Right. So
Interesting.
Hopefully.
You're playing this on PC?
Playing this on PC.
Gotcha.
Because I don't have anything else.
Is it on Switch yet? I feel like this would be great on Switch.
I don't think it's ever coming to Switch.
What?
I think it's PlayStation 3 first. They paid for exclusivity,
Gotcha.
then PC.
Interesting. Yeah, I feel like this would be great handheld.
Yeah.
So you could be, no one's traveling anywhere, but you could be traveling somewhere and like working on this, and then put it in standby mode and
Practicing. Yeah, no, it'd be fantastic.
Is there? I know there's a co-op mode, but is there any kind of like competitive side to this?
It's if it's like the original one, it plays like a goofy, like, I don't know, it almost feels like you're playing like a Bomberman style game. And while
Gotcha.
the rules are very different than Bomberman, it's just sort of that very innocent, dumb fun. You're throwing bombs at your friends, you're trying to get them with your weapons.
Okay.
It's very arcadey. And
Or is there any kind of race to the bottom component, like race to complete the level?
no, not in multiplayer.
Gotcha.
That would be neat for sure. But yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, this it's kind of a bummer to hear because I know you're super excited for this. And maybe it clicks, in time.
And that could be the thing, because I didn't, when I played Spelunky for the first time, I didn't like it. But that was before I played Faster and Light and finally understood roguelites. Oh, you idiot! You idiot!
We're looking at footage right now of somebody
should have known.
An expert player.
Never trust a skelly man. Yeah, that's new. You can travel into the background, which
right.
I've only, like, there's only one instance where I've had it be helpful. So,
but they're just kind of randomly, they can be there in a level.
I really don't know how.
I feel like that fire can bite you in the ass, right? Is that possible? Like he just threw at the character and it bounced. But you can't just light yourself on fire.
I think you can explode bomb boxes. I think you can explode jetpacks, which in the last game, jetpack was like the ultimate tool. Now it's explodable, so it actually does have a Okay, we should change subjects because this person is not.
This is my footage, actually. This is my
right. No. Started this just before hopping on.
But yeah, I didn't play much else besides the frustration of getting Star Wars Squadrons to work. Now I'm racking my brain to see what I jumped into. I did buy on Fortnite. So I'm really I peek into Fortnite to see what to buy, and then I don't play that game. But one of the recent things that they added, because they're doing that whole Marvel thing with the event that eventually Galactus will show up, and that's where I'm like, I will give you my money now. But they added Blade, and it's like Blade from the movie Blade, and it's so fucking dope. He has his move where he like kicks his that little like spinning blade thing at the screen. He's got his swords. He's got his dope trench coat. Yeah, it's awesome. So they just get me on those characters that they add every time, and I have no problem giving me my money when they do that. But
giving them their money
as they've earned my money, rightfully so. But yeah, mainly just jumping through that. I did play or buy, that was last week, Super Mario 3D All-Stars. I just haven't spent much time playing it, but I think I just kind of wanted to get it on the system. And then so when I do have the bug, I'll jump in. But even though I have months and months, I think it's like March until it actually removes from the store, but for whatever reason. But yeah.
I still need to jump back in and finish Paper Mario. That's one that's bugging me because I know I'm not that far from the end.
Yeah.
I was really enjoying what I was playing. Like, I just gotta
buckle down, play it.
Bite that delicious bullet.
Nice, Kevin. Well, we can dissect some news. We'll start off with this first one, just a new trailer for this Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered. We can get your take on this trailer here.
As long as it's better than was that racing game that just came out?
Which one?
Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, well, that bar's just like sub below the surface, so I'm sure that they at least nail it. This is the first game, the first Hot Pursuit or Need for Speed game I ever played. This was released on the original Xbox, and it was one of the first ones I played, and I loved it. I played it over and over again. But they released a trailer. I think there is actual footage in the trailer they're showing off too. I assume so.
Now this one at least had the whole running from the cops thing, right?
Yes.
That was...
Yeah. I want to say the first time they tried that, could be wrong. But it's coming to PC, PS4, Xbox One, November 6th, and then a Switch version. They're going to somehow make it work November 13th. And it has updated visuals, all of its DLC, cross-platform multiplayer, which is dope. It's developed by EA-owned Criterion and Stellar Entertainment, which is they also worked on the Burnout Paradise Remastered. This is more of a story trailer setup.
I'm confused. Didn't you just buy that at a store and then... Oh, he left it for the other guy. Okay.
There you go.
Is that just two guys that look identical?
I think so.
Do all white people look alike?
I don't know. Your words, but I don't disagree with you, Kevin. It looks dope. It's a very old game. I guess I'm surprised it doesn't look a little bit better, but it looks pretty cool.
Oh wait, one of them wasn't white. I may have.
Well, in your mind, everyone's white.
Timeline in my head, yeah. A little too colorblind here. What did he look like? He was a human being.
Just a general white guy, you know how it is.
Yeah. What color were their eyes? Human. I mean, that looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
What I'd be curious. What I assume that's cross-gen.
So they're saying cross-platform multiplayer, cross apparently PS4, PC, and Xbox One. And I'm not sure if when the Switch version comes into play, that's also completely cross.
To the Series X or the PS5.
They haven't said yet, but you'd think it would work fine. I know that was in the news last week, but Xbox was in the hands of different influencers, and they got to test out the instant startup play ability and how it would instantly kind of not upres, but increase the resolution. Nope, that's the same thing. Frame rate on games. So maybe with this one, it's just going to naturally run a little bit better. Who knows? We'll see.
I'll definitely be curious with that. Again, apparently the Instaboot was cool, but the fact that full backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
And there's so many Xbox original games I want to play, or Xbox. I never played Xbox One games, so there's a bunch of good titles in there.
You know what I keep having the hankering to play is the original Prey.
Really?
Yeah, I keep thinking about it. Just I cannot get it out of my head. But I want to play this, and maybe I don't have to wait for anything really. I'm sure it's available everywhere, and for sure on the Xbox One X. But I got to play this game. I never gave it a shot. It was a 360 launch game, I want to say, or very close to that launch, and I just loved the idea and how they did the weird mechanics in the world with the alien guns and the gravity, and you have this native dude who's taken into this alien spaceship, and it's just what a fucking awesome idea. And the portals, I didn't realize there's portals in there too.
Yeah, the portal, not only just portals, but portals that will change your size. So there's that part where you drop down onto that rock and you see an enemy coming, and they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and you realize you're in this little box on a pedestal.
Gotcha.
It's also it's nice to get some representation, because there's literally no representation.
100%. Yeah, that's also what stays in my mind. Is there's not a lot of games with a native protagonist in them, but yeah. And
it was neat from the perspective of he wanted to get off the res. That's what he wanted. He was sick of it. He was done with it. And it's that's sort of an honest story. That was kind of neat.
That intro, which I'm not sure is, it is here in this footage we're watching,
is the best.
This is also burned my brain too. I just kept watching this intro over and over again when it came out. But when the aliens eventually come to town and just start wrecking shit up, I'm sure I'm going to skip it somehow.
I remember I was going through, because there was my theory. I'm like, can a level in a game be a banger? Like a song can. And so I was like, I really think in my head that if a level is going to be a banger, it has to have strong musical influences. So I went through best musical scenes, and I think this is probably the greatest musical scene. Might be the greatest musical scene of all time in a game. The closest I saw on that list was maybe I think it's Saints Row the Third, where you're skydiving down onto a building while Kanye West's Power is playing.
Oh, that already in my mind, I can picture it, and that sounds perfect.
Yeah.
Like the way it just zaps everything, like and blasts you through the. This is how I imagine every alien abduction goes too. So that's also what terrifies me about this.
I think they removed "Don't Fear the Reaper" from that so they wouldn't get
Oh, is that
taken
the
down.
original song they used?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh,
That's
God,
perfect.
so good. That game, last time I tried to play it though, it is so much more arcadey than you can possibly remember it being.
In a good way, or like Doom arcadey, or something that's not quite the same.
It was more arcadey than that. It's old school. This is still
I see.
like yeah.
It seems like that, almost like a Quake kind of like PC game. Like that seems
Yeah.
like the vibe they're going for.
But it's fun in its own right.
Nice. Yeah, I got to play that. I don't know if you played a bunch of the Prey, not remake, but like the reboot.
Oh yeah.
Do they leave anything that could like tie that universe to this universe, or is it complete?
It's literally not connected.
Gotcha.
It's not the same universe. So, which is weird because the original Prey 2 was connected. I was watching this thing about how that got like run into the ground.
That was canceled, right? Like they did work on it, but yeah.
Yeah. So there was some neat stuff going on with that, but yeah, not connected at all. That being said, New Prey is fucking.
It's on my list. Yeah,
it's one of my favorite games.
That's there's so many stuff on my list. That's one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what we're talking about, Need for Speed, that was announced today. Also today, huge news that Cyberpunk 2077 has gone gold, and I will transition to some footage here. But how do you feel about? Because it was in the news last week as well. The whole crunch thing. They were trying to avoid crunch from the get-go. It seems like it was inevitable. It wasn't going to go that way. They, in this last stretch, they mandated it that all their devs work on Saturdays, and so they're working 6 to 8 weeks to try and get it done. But what do you think?
Well, and they're going to be working long hours besides just working 5 days a week. And how many people are actually going to be working 7 days a week?
True.
It's brutal. Like there's the reason why there's that terrible joke in the industry, which is like you get to the end of game development, and you kiss your family goodbye. And that's
where it gets the most hard at the end, like the crunch at the end.
I mean, you don't see them. It's like, yeah. So it sucks. I would prefer them just delay it and let these people. I mean, I need more time to build my PC. So
there you go.
If we can wait till these.
Although I keep hearing
series comes out from.
Well, when games are delayed, often it's like the crunch just extends. So it's almost like you move in one direction, but it's still a bunch of shit in that direction. I don't know how, unless there's a full blown. That's why people keep bringing up the idea of a just a union in the game industry to kind of lock down and make these rules where you can kind of follow a guideline for how your dev time is structured. But yeah, I think you can fully like support or be excited for this game, but not be a fan of the crunch involved across the industry. It's this problematic, like hard discussion, but I think it can be both. Just as long as you're like intelligently like thinking about it and not going, hey, fuck these devs, I want this game.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful.
You could say that about like my shirt. Like I'm a fan of my shirt. I don't want to think what went into making it.
Sure. I mean, that's the thing. It's like every issue, everything that we consume is a can of worms. Like our phones. They're how much unpaid labor or improperly paid labor and blood, sweat, and tears goes to our phone, or just mining the minerals for the phones. It's a whole thing. It's almost like you can't go in any direction without another problematic issue. But it is what it is. I'm hoping that this dev is actually compensated like they're saying. They're going to be well compensated and take them to fucking Disneyland for sure.
Yeah, that's the other tricky bit too, because these people are salary. So when they're putting in all these extra hours, they're not getting paid more for it.
Gotcha. And that's rough. I know I've heard that CD Projekt Red is committed to like some kind of 10% back end that the devs are getting. But even that has issues where that could be just for 2020 and not 2021 when this game really makes a bunch of money. I don't know. I'm hoping that they see ahead enough of the headlines and just on their own take it enough to be like, hey, we want to take care of our team and make sure the people who sign up with us and join our team want to be here and aren't just like forced to go through these the whole gambit of the issues that comes with dev. But yeah, I mean, I still cannot fucking wait for this game, and I'm hoping the devs can get some time off when this thing comes out. But then there's the inevitable DLC and multiplayer. It's like it keeps rolling. So I don't know what you do. It's got to be a whole industry wide kind of structure union that they enforce. But and then unions have their own issues too. It's like I don't know how you do it, but something has to be done.
Yep.
But until then, this game looks crazy fucking beautiful and awesome. And I'm always surprised they're able to pull this off. Like we're not going to be able to 100% tell until we get this in our hands, but it seems like they're able to pull this off somehow.
Yeah, I mean, I think the original footage didn't look doable. I think this looks much more doable now.
Mm.
This is doable.
I feel like I don't get a sense that it is much different. I think maybe everything was fully or like crazy textured and crazy detailed, and maybe they brought that down a little bit. I think the more I think about it, yeah, I come around to it's a bit more GTA, brushed over to make it work, but they're just trying to do so much at once.
Yeah, it looks great. I'm gonna be really curious to see how and this will be a game too where I literally avoid any content on it basically aside from what we've seen.
Yeah, this is old footage from like a year ago when they showed it off, but
Yeah,
and stuff like those blades. I think they canceled not the blades, but they canceled the ability to wall run, just because it just wasn't going to fit in time. So they've actually cut stuff to make it work. But the game went gold today, and it's on track for a November 19th release.
Sure.
Which is today's the 5th, so it's a little over a month.
I would love to do as well. So I think we started this with Outer Worlds, where we intentionally tried to pick different
interesting
gameplay. So like I think definitely we should pick different starts.
So there's a 3 not campaigns but like gangs you can or places you can be your origin. So there's the nomad in the desert, there's the city kid, and the tech. Which one kind of do you think you gravitate towards?
Honestly, they all sound great. Like, right? Especially when they dove into each of them, it sounds really interesting. I think that's the thing. Like the nomad kind of reigns out to me.
It's more Mad Maxy out there.
Yeah, it's neat. I think the storyline where you start out working for the big evil company is going to be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And the kind of tech that they have available, at least at the beginning or at some point. I guess when I think of Cyberpunk 2077, I think of the crazy city that they showed off first. Yeah. So I want to either play the street kid or the cyber part or the corporate part to be right in the city from the get-go, because I want to see that from the beginning. And I think with Nomad, you're kind of on the outside making your way inside the city.
Making your way downtown?
Yeah.
Faces past, something,
and you're homebound.
I think that's totally, and you're gonna make it out to the desert at some point anyway.
Sure. Oh yeah. I'm not sure how long they restrict you before you can just here's the whole city. You can go full range.
His shadowing on his hat is fucky.
And this is a year old footage, so yeah, that could be it. Yeah. But they did show off what leaked today was just a picture of the map, and so pretty cool. It's just showing you how large the map is. I guess this leaked a year ago, and nobody knew if it was sure or if it was real or not. And this is actually the map of the night city here, but it looks pretty nuts. A lot of deserty stuff going on.
I'd be curious to compare that to Grand Theft Auto 5's insanely huge map. And right. I really don't need bigger, just give me more dense.
We keep talking about that. That's what I want with next gen for sure. And really what I want now is I just want more density in a city and not it's 5 times more expansive than our last city. I don't fucking care. I want to be able to walk in every room and there's like full furniture and it's fully detailed. That's what I want. Kind of like the Matrix, whatever online tried to do. I think it's like they had physical rooms.
They did it and it sucked.
Yeah, they were just empty. It's like, hey, we got rooms, but there's nothing in there. But yeah, so we're very close to that. It has gone gold today, which is pretty dope. Speaking of somewhat CD Projekt Red news, we got Geralt. Is that I always forget the actual way to pronounce his name.
I think it's Geralt or Geralt.
Well, I'm thinking Geraldo, but Geralt's new armor in Witcher Season 2 just was revealed by Netflix today. So we have a cool, chunky looking image of the man himself. And his armor, which is pretty...
We are blocking that.
Yeah, there we go. We are blocking.
No. Can we hide us? Do you have another scene?
That's the point. We're going to be always here. So it's just... whether people like it or not, we're there.
So it's just a head. That's all people get to
just
see.
a head, but there's another image, which is this one right here.
There we go.
Yeah, so you got and his armor is called like a emotional armor or something like
I'm sorry. Pull up Vigo the Carpathian, because that's fucking him right there.
Interesting. Vigo the who?
Vigo the Carpathian.
Okay. An image.
There.
Oh, interesting.
From
yeah.
Fucking Ghostbusters. It's the villain of Ghostbusters 2 is what we
A little younger, a little beefier, but very similar.
Oh, goddamn.
But you're right that's a similar armor.
Vigo.
But they shut it off. I guess they're now able to film season 2 since August because they had to take a break, obviously because of Corona. But this is coming out eventually. and it's some thick ass armor, some leather stuff. But it's like an emotional armor, I want to say it's called. There's an actual name for it, which it helps them with spirits or whatever kind of magic that's being thrown at them. But yeah, I can't wait. Did you actually finish the first season of Witcher? I have not. Yeah, it's on my backlog. I just haven't been in the mood to jump back in for some reason.
Really? Did you start watching the dragon hunting episode and that's where you quit? Because that is objectively a terrible episode.
I've heard that one's bad. I do remember that, but I don't think I got to that point.
It's not even worth watching. Like there's something plot related that happens in it. But I don't know if anything meaningful happened out of that.
No nipple action here. Not like the bat suit of the 90s.
That's fair.
Interesting. And
that
chin,
pendant, even though I know he wears the pendant in at least the game, probably in the books as well. But it's for some reason it's making me think of Double Dragon the movie.
Oh god. I never watched that, but I know what you're talking about. Maybe as a kid I watched it.
I loved it as a kid. I probably watched it 100 times. And that was just renting it from the store and watching it.
I think if I could get plastic surgery, the first thing would be this chin. If I could somehow implant, get muscles from some part of my body that I don't have muscles, but if I could add something like this, it's pretty dope.
Does that just happen if you get buff that your chin does that?
I guess you just get a chin. I wouldn't know what that is because I use my beard to like create a chin. But I guess if you get buff, you actually reveal that, oh fuck, you have a chin.
I think I wonder if it's like the stress in the back of your neck, because he does have a big neck. Like I wonder if the neck muscles like pull that shit. But I mean, it's
a great shadow the two going on, but
yeah,
it gives that illusion. But I mean, he's looking dope, looking like a snack and a half for sure.
Is that a snack or is that a goddamn meal?
You're right. Give me pardon my how I disgraced him there, but yeah, he's a full-blown KFC meal bucket if you want to go that route.
Oh my god, that's a $5 fill-up right there if I ever seen one.
That's a deal right there. So yeah, we got some Witcher news. PS5 is also making its way into the news. Not as much as we need, especially since last week Xbox dumped that entire smorgasbord of here's the box, here's the quick boot, like you're talking about, testing all that out. But all we get this week is PS5 images, which it's something. But PS5 gets a preview event for Japan with new thick pics. So these are some pics from IGN.
I do wish you hadn't shown me this because I wasn't looking for these. So
the PS5 images?
The PS5, yeah, itself compared to the Xbox Series X.
I do have a better comparison I can show you too.
Like, how big is that TV?
Yeah, that looks like a 40-inch TV there. There's another image I'm going to show you that has them all laid out together. It's a mock-up, but it looks pretty realistic. So this event in Japan...
Are they playing fucking Mario Odyssey on screen? What's happening here?
I think it's the Playroom. So that's the demo game that's installed in the PS5, and it kind of gives you an idea on like the haptic feedback and the triggers and stuff. So it's like a free demo that's in the PS5. So that's what they're showing off. And then they also showed off Godfall gameplay. But we got some new info on the controllers. There's these 4 LEDs that tell you which player you are. So it's 1 LED or 2. I'm not playing with anybody, so I could give 2 fucks about that, but that's there. Yeah. So yeah, we got some new chunky images of the PS5
that's
itself.
That's the way the disc drive sits when it's on its side?
And I want to say it comes with a stand, so you can lay it on its side. I think that's the only way I'm going to fit it on anything is laying it down, unless it's on the floor, the same height as my TV, basically. But I have another image here. Oh, this is... a random screw that people are trying to like break down what does the screw actually do. But there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there that not sure what this does. It could be this is what opens the drive to let you expand the SSD. But in the PS4, there's like this cool...
It's pretty hard to get to.
Yeah, it does. I think those, if I switch back to these blades, I think these blades come off. Either one or two, both of them do. I think they're going to let you customize them and at least get to internals or like the SSD at the very least. But I'm thinking those things pop off for some kind of customization. There we go. Some level of that. But yeah, there's not a... Oh, okay, I have my my breakdown that I can show you.
Oh,
so this is a render, granted, but it's showing off for sure. We know the Xbox compared to the Series S compared to the One X, that's accurate there. So if we were to, for what we know about the PS5, this is from WindowsCentral.com, it looks like the PS5 kind of definitely sticks up past the One X here by at least 5-6 inches. So yeah, it
looked bigger in that other picture you showed me, but maybe that...
Got somebody at the door, and I'm not going to answer that right now. But yeah, I mean it's thick for sure, but more like tall thick than anything else. It's just strange, man. It's almost like I could fast forward and wait, or wish I could just get to the mini version of this eventually, like the streamlined version of this. But it's almost comically huge. But that's where we are now. I'm hoping that helps with, I imagine heat and dissipation and that kind of thing and cooling down. It's just such a weird design. Although I love that they're just, taking these chances altogether, but it's just such a crazy idea. But that is an idea of what these things are going to look like. Yeah, there's some more news. Slight bummer if this is true. So this leaked on Reset Era if this leaker is true. But the idea is that the PS5 comes with a 800 and some gigabyte SSD. What's actually usable when the OS is taken over is 664 gigabytes. What's similar with the One X is that is a terabyte, but there's 800 gigabytes usable because of the OS and everything that's preloaded. Yeah. So if that similar idea is going with the PS5, there's going to be even less space on there. This is maybe what Call of Duty and one more map, and then your entire hard drive is taken up. That's a little rough, not looking good. Although at the same time, I don't know if that turns you off. Like I guess I'm used to, or with the PS4 when I first got it, I'd have my loaded games that I could fit on there, and I would just kind of cycle through stuff. I would take stuff out that I wasn't going to play anymore. I just don't like doing that anymore. That I have like an external hard drive. I don't have to worry about that. It's like all accessible. So it's a bummer that I'm going to have to swap things out, but it seems like we're just going to have to do that for the time being.
Right. That's fair. Yeah.
But yeah, not really.
But you look at that with the Series S.
Yeah, even less. And then with the OS on there too, what, 400 gigabytes? Yeah. Yikes. It's going to be, and so it's still kind of a hard sell with like all digital if we don't have enough space to actually hold the games on there. Yeah. So, but the thing is the new SSD tech that they're using, they're all crazy expensive to expand to 1-2 terabytes. So something has to give where these things get more expensive or we have less space.
It still blows my mind like how quickly that technology is evolving as far as hard drives go.
Yeah.
Got my head off there.
Did you? Yeah, we're using the green screen.
Myself a flat turf.
But yeah, so just slightly more information. I guess soon we've got to get some more like lockdown info on PS5. Xbox has been great this whole end of the generation or beginning of the new generation, showing off everything you need to know, answering all the questions. With PS5, they're still in the dark. And I just wonder what's their strategy for that. Is that to build hype? At the same time, we're a month away. It's like, I think the hype's already been built. Let's actually get into the nitty gritty of what does the UI look like? We have no idea. Right. What are some of these details? But this month has to be the month where they actually give us some information.
Agreed.
They tend to just drop announcements very suddenly. So I'm sure I wouldn't doubt that Tuesday, tomorrow or something, they say, hey, down the line or this week, we're going to have an event showing you what the power cord looks like. Okay, cool. Like just like little things like that.
Yeah, this somehow that doesn't have a power brick in it. That massive fucking thing.
Right. Yeah, you think it'd be already in there, but it's not integrated.
Is it not?
No, I think they're using well, I don't know for sure. I can't say that. I'm assuming it is because the PS4, both the PS4 Pro and the standard had the power stuff integrated into it. So I'm assuming that's the same situation.
God, do you remember how big the power brick was on the Xbox 360?
That was the big joke, yeah, in that era. It was like a third, half the size. Like it was nuts.
It was easily a third.
Yeah.
If not more.
And I guess those power bricks, they're converting power, but they're also regulating it to keep it a certain level. So like they're doing a lot.
Well, they're like technically transformers, I think. So I think they're amplifying. I don't really know. But fuck.
Interesting. Yeah. So there's some slight news on PS5. We need more. But what also was announced this week was Steve from Minecraft joined Super Smash. And I have some footage we can go over too. But Nintendo has announced that this is from IGN, Adam Bankhurst. Nintendo has announced that Minecraft's DLC fighters, including Steve, Alex, Zombie, and Enderman, will be available in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on October 13th for those who own the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighters Pass Volume 2. And it will also be available for $5.99 separately. Negotiations to get Minecraft Steve into Super Smash Bros. May have been ongoing for at least 5 years. Mojang co-founder Daniel Kaplan revealed the news on Twitter. So we have some actual footage to watch it in action. Are you edge of your seat, very stoked to get Steve in Super Smash? No. Okay, I take it.
I mean, I really don't care. I know.
Yeah,
I know for a lot of people this is very exciting. I like.
I like to see those worlds together. That's my main thing.
I really appreciate the fact that Microsoft continues to be, willing to play ball with Nintendo. Because again, really, they're not really competing.
Right.
If anything, Microsoft's a bigger competition with Sony, and then Stadia, and now Amazon.
Oh, sure, with their forget the name of it, but yeah.
It's just weird to me that like all the characters in this game have been extremely expressive with their moveset, and now we have the least expressive character.
You just saw him twerking or whatever, dancing there. He can jump too. Watch out. But you're right. He's byproduct of just Minecraft. Like you can't be that animated, but
yeah,
he just kind of stands there. He blinks. That's great.
I can't. Like even Game & Watch has a ton of personality in the moves he does.
But I would say part of the charm of this character is that they don't have those fluid motions because that's the world he comes from.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just neat. At the end of the day, it's I have not played Super Smash since I downloaded it because I assumed my nephew was going to be into it. He played it for 5 minutes. So I was like, cool, bought this for $60, no big deal. But
I'll bring over my copy. We'll get the the brawl going.
Yeah, we can. I'm terrible at that game. I'm terrible, but
I'll take it easy on everybody. It's at least that's a fun thing. Like it's very easy in this game to turn off your hardcore gamer move.
Okay.
Mindset.
And only like kick ass when somebody's really like you need to kick ass against them.
I mean, you just start throwing out your big moves that should never work against like a real player, and you're just like, whatever. Fucking fireballs.
Now at least he has the platforming, like you can add the dirt, and that can kind of change stuff. Yeah. Enderman's there. I don't know if Enderman has powers. There's the twerk move that they're all kind of showcasing, but
you gotta twerk. I mean, they always do a very good job of kind of adding some form of gameplay that makes it feel very reminiscent of the character it's supposed to be. So I bet they do a great job with that in this.
They kind of came out of left field with the announcement. I want to say it was the day before. They went on Twitter saying we have an announcement for an actual character reveal tomorrow, and they showed him off. I don't know, because it seems like they've said that they're kind of reaching an endpoint with these characters, but then they bust out Sakurai again, and he has to show off something else. So I wonder when we actually end this point with Super Smash, and he can go take a break.
Ugh, more sword characters.
Yeah, that was one of the fears people thought when it was announced. Like, oh, it's just another variation, but
that is
compared to Mario, he has so few animations, and Mario's like completely fluid.
You look at how much personality is in that idle animation. Then you just got this guy here. But yeah, I think that background looks very pretty. Actually,
yeah, that's actually a dope world they're playing in, and it gives a little bit more energy to Nintendo and Microsoft working together a little bit more. We keep talking. It's been a rumor for a while. There hasn't been any update on it, maybe in a year. But the idea of Game Pass on Switch, that just gives a little bit, maybe 1% more hope that that's a possibility with them interacting together. Because there's no interaction with Sony at all for any of their properties.
Right.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. There's at least in the past, you've had Snake, and Crash isn't there yet, right? But you think that'd be a shoo-in. No. But you've had some Sony properties in there.
I mean, if they do it through xCloud, I think that would be. Can you imagine if all these like kids that play? I mean, that adds all that value to your Switch now, but
right, 100%. Yeah, and they really just want to put the Game Pass itself or xCloud on anything that can play it, so they get subscribers. So everybody has a Switch. There you go.
Especially with like Apple being dumb about stuff, like it'd be nice to get that. Yeah, but so it's cute.
It is cute. It is cute, Gavin. Let's see. We have that's all I have for you. You know what? There was a game that I didn't tell you that I played, and I've been racking my brain trying to figure out the name of it. But you are a cyberpunk 2077 dude running on walls, and you have a dope sword.
Something Run, I think.
Yeah, I want to say it's not Ninja Run. It's something with the cyber, with a knight, with the.
No, that's something different.
I would look it up if I remember the name of the goddamn game, but I do not. But I played it, and it's incredibly hard.
Sure.
And there's no point in like really talking about it if I can't find the name of it. But it's surprisingly hard. But at least it's a demo, which it was dope too. Ghost Runner. There we go.
That sounds right.
Yeah, the old brain is running today. So here's some IGN
The
footage
graphics
of
on
Ghost
this
Runner.
are just stupid.
Yeah, they're nuts. And my PC was running it great, able to handle it. But it's the way they handle the movement. You're able to reset quickly when you fail, but you don't have very much. There's no like health meter. Basically, once you get shot 1-2 times, you die. You have to reset. So you have to kind of figure out the right path to go. There are multiple paths, but you're wall running, you're dodging in slow motion. But when you you have to build your run basically. Once you nail it, it feels really good. It's just there's a sort of a learning curve there. But if I can fast forward to some of the footage.
Dude, this just made me think the game in VR that we truly, truly need. Like, I think some of the first person shooters out there are a good step, and I think that Star Wars game is a great step. But what we really need is Titanfall, the game. Like looking at your monitors and your robot, maybe hitting some switches and doing stuff. And
that's a great fucking idea. I guess you wouldn't be able to. It would get tricky when you remove your character from the actual mech, because when you're wall running and stuff in VR, that could get a little bit nauseous or hard to nail down. But if you're in the mech, that's beautiful. Yeah, you see the instruments, it's all displayed, and you're running around doing stuff. Yeah. Or there was that other popular mech game. It looked really great when it came out. I am blanking on it. Not Dust. It's man, it was like a one-word mech level or mech game. But it just looked absolutely insane. But you're inside the mech, same kind of idea. You can see the instruments and stuff. That would have been great.
Gear.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, a mech game is totally ideal because you're.
And I haven't seen any mech related kind of stuff in VR yet. But I'm sure it just takes time. I'm sure somebody's gonna work it out. But the game looks beautiful. The level I played was the intro city level, which is here, and that's where it shined for me because it's just neon everywhere. It's super brutal, so you can.
So you get hit once and you're dead, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So you have to really figure out what you're doing and plan ahead, or just like learn the mechanics. But you're just slicing people in half and like cutting their heads off. It's very brutal. But what sort of turned me off was the fact that you have one shot. I mean, you restart, but the fact that there's no health bar, you have to like nail your run basically. But they are forgiving with the checkpoints.
Right. I mean, that's definitely its own kind of fun.
I did not unlock the grappling hook. That looks super dope.
Wrong, Fonzie. You gotta get back in there.
I tend to play for half an hour a lot of games, and then I go, okay, I'm gonna try something else. So this was one of them. But I
paid $60, but
well, it was a free demo, so I tried the free demo.
Did you ever play that since you got your PC? That one, there was a demo that was shown off at a bunch of things that kind of has a similar vibe to this, but you're combining shooting with swordplay.
This, you know what? You've unlocked something in my brain, but I can't think of what it is.
I think it's going to be a launch title for next gens.
Oh, was that one of they showed it off at a conference, right?
Yeah.
And it's like one guy's developing it?
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know if I've found the demo. I want to say it's like these things go up and then they were removed. I know Ghost Runner had a demo that was timed and then they just removed it. But I haven't played the one you're talking about. It has like a crazy long name, I feel like. It's like Ghost Protocol something Uriah. It's like a whole name situation. I did. That's what I remember. The name is ridiculous, but or just like way too complex.
It's super weeby, that's for sure. Whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah, they're playing around. This does have Titanfall vibes. Like I could see Respawn behind this, but they are not. Yeah, looks really dope. But played the demo and it's very cool. It's too hard for me, but it's very cool. I wouldn't mind a baby mode. That's my whole thing. If I could institute some kind of standardization with the unions, it would be also to have a baby mode in every game.
I mean, we're doing better about accessibility. But
that's true.
There
was this great interview with Reggie Fils-Aimé. He talked to, there's a guy on Twitter, his tagline or his handle is The Blind Gamer. And his podcast, he talked to Reggie and they went to depths on one of Reggie's ideas is to have with the ESRB some kind of standardization with accessibility. So it's not just like depending on the devs, it's just across the board you have to have these different bullet points.
Which wouldn't be that hard because there's already an organization, I believe it's called Able Gamer.
True.
And they will rate your game in terms of accessibility, which is pretty neat. So you kind of just partner with them.
Yeah, I can't find the actual interview, but yeah, he brought up some really good points that I never thought about, just like making that a standard and not just leaving up to hoping the devs work on, or even like small stuff like font sizes. It's still insane that you can't, for a lot of games, you can't customize the font. It's getting better, but like enlarging that, or various audio stuff, or manipulating the controls to put them where you remapping the controls, it's getting better. But you think by now we'd have some kind of standard.
It is tricky though, because it doesn't, like when I be working on all my games are very retro style, and I couldn't really just bring in the old school font and
That's
have
true.
everything work. So it can kind of mess with stuff and sort of your style, and yes, you should allow for it, but it can be hard to kind of do. So it's not as easy as necessarily you'd think.
Right.
But
Yeah, it's not as simple as, oh, just change the font. It's like a whole thing that goes into that. I get that.
right.
But if you could, it's a lot of people that can't play because you're forced to like cut time, or cut resources and not have this feature. So if you can broaden that, then everybody wins if more people can play the game. So 100%.
Right. And there's so many things. Color blindness is a pretty popular one. That one's somewhat easier to tackle. Proper subtitles, and subtitling everything properly. If something's off screen, you should still hear something for it. I actually was very impressed by, I think it was The Boys subtitle the other day, where a character mouthed saying something and it said mouthing, and I was just like, oh duh,
I do remember that.
Gonna know.
Yeah, that those things are also getting better too, just kind of going into more detail so they know what's going on.
And I've been asked that, like, and I didn't know what to say, because it was this one gamer, he goes by the Deaf Gamer, and he's a really nice guy, and he's into active stuff for that, and he's just like, why don't you do this stuff? And I'm like, I don't have a great answer for you. Yeah, it is harder. That's not necessarily an excuse.
Right.
Like, my biggest thing I try and do for accessibility is one-handed play. I like my games being able to play it one-handed, simplify the control schemes. Because, sometimes you want to jerk it.
For that alone, yeah. So
no, but that came out selfish, because I at one point stabbed myself through the hand and I couldn't play anything.
Jesus.
So on accident, all right, people. But so like the closest thing I could do is kind of like Diablo 2, but even then you gotta click the thing. So I'm like playing with my pinky, and that's all I got. But yeah, there's not much in the way of one-handed play.
Right. Yeah, and it means devs like linking up with just that whole accessibility community, because you might just be locked into whatever your situation is. So you don't think of, oh, what about people that can't do this or that?
Right.
But that's just a product of like your how you're, you have the features that you have, or you have the abilities that you have. So you kind of need to expand, talk to other people, and create that perspective. But
not every game is going to be playable.
Very true. Yeah, there is a line you have to cut where it's like, yeah, it's tough. Although with Xbox, that whole accessibility controller, or there's a proper name for it, but there's like a ton of different doodads and stuff on there. So you can completely blow out the ass, and you have a million different inputs, and there you go.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Gavin, let's end on this Fall Guy trailer. You're telling me about
Free
it. Free Guy. I see. Okay, so I'm gonna switch over. So this is a new trailer.
Yeah.
Now I feel like it's hard to nail the whole video game thing in a game, besides Scott Pilgrim. But I know this is Taika Waititi, so I have.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Shit.
So I have a lot of fucking interest in this because of that.
It can be tricky too, because you got to get the right role for Ryan Reynolds.
This seems like it's for sure up his alley. Like, he's a goofball. He's that traditional, standard-looking white dude in a game, so he fits that as well.
Well, he's not doing his normal, like, annoyingly charming thing. Yeah. It's just kind of innocent. Sort of this NPC that's come to life.
Wait, you let who kiss you? Guy. There's not a button.
Wait, but okay. I guess where I like turn off already is the fact that he happens to fall in love with another hot person. It's like, come on.
It's a video game. They can literally all be hot for free.
Yeah, but the real life person who they're inevitably going to hook up with, in real life, she's also hot. That's where I'm like, okay, that same thing happened to Ready Player One. The chick kept going on about like how she was deformed or had some issue. She has like a tiny scar on her face, but she's insanely hot. I'm like, okay, I think I'm done here. Oh, right. I'm talking over this,
yeah.
but he's an actual NPC and he's fallen in love with a real life character or real life player, rather.
But he's sort of breaking out of the Matrix. He understands that
Gotcha.
this is some sort of video game. I mean, it's sort of neat from the perspective of this being like almost some sort of like Saints Row
For sure.
online game.
It looks like fun. 100% looks like
Yeah.
an insane amount of fun. I'm sure the writing's going to be awesome too.
I don't know why, I feel like this is gonna be up on that level of like, shoot, role models. Like for some reason, that's the movie in my head, like where I'm gonna come away with this sort of like light and fluffy but
Yeah.
cute summer flick.
I don't doubt that. Yeah, it looks dope. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I don't know when this will ever come out because all the movies are just being postponed. Like I just
Well,
seen
that's
on
a
Twitter.
Netflix though.
Is it Netflix?
I think so. I think
Damn.
that's a Netflix exclusive.
Okay. I just
So.
read, like we're scrolling through on Twitter, Batman was the new Batman was pushed far in advance too. So it's just there's no way for these movies to come out. So it's like
Yeah.
you got to do it. It's just a huge bummer because I guess still you can't make your nut back by just streaming to people's TVs like you think you could, but I guess you still can't do that. But
Well, that's how I lose my nut every time.
well, there's certain movies I would pay more to watch it at home. Like a lot of people have bigger TVs now. So say with like Dune, I do want to wait to see that in theaters. It looks nuts.
Yeah.
But and even Christopher Nolan's new movie, Tenet.
Yeah.
I do want to see it in theaters, but my TV's big enough. It's like I'll watch it at home. If I have to pay $30, okay, $40 is pushing it. But like $30, dude, we can make some of that money back, and then you get to theaters. If it's good enough, I'll watch it again in theaters. You know, like with the gas mask on or something. But
I can see that.
yeah,
It's got to be a classic though. That's the thing. Like if you want to go back and watch, I feel like if I'd seen Joker first at home, I'd be like, I gotta go see that in the theater.
Or even another Christopher Nolan, the Time one or the Dream one, Inception. If I watch it at home, I'll 100% watch that in theaters again because that one movie is so dope.
I never got to see that one in theaters, but I thought it was dope.
Yeah,
it's just good.
Oh man, I love that he just actually blows shit up in the movies too. Whether it's Dark Knight, where they implode that hospital. I know in Tenet they're supposed to actually take a 747 that they bought and just crash it or demolish it. So they just actually pay the money to do the real things in real life.
That probably didn't need to be done with the 747.
The thing is, it gives the movie more legs where it stands the test of time. That's what I love about T2. My favorite movie possibly ever is they did so much practical stuff that it still holds up. And then the CG they did at the time was pretty advanced where that still holds up too.
Right.
But it goes the extra mile when you actually do on-set stuff. But yeah, it is what it is, Kevin. Well, we can end it there. We've been going an hour. Where can they keep up with you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Twitter at Drunk Devs.
Awesome. And you can keep up with the show as well on Twitter at Plastic Heart Pod. That's it for us this week. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.